A contest that gets fans in the subcontinent really excited is India versus Pakistan. In this past week, we saw that clash at the Asia Cup. From that one game, were there any signs that were telling that Virat Kohli has been helped by that 1 month break that he took from international cricket, or is it too early to tell?
Well, first and foremost, great to see him back in the runs, and I guess no surprise as well that he did it in a run chase. I think we've always known that about him, that his record suggests that he's better when his team is chasing runs. And look, when I saw his runs, and then I've read a bit of stuff on social media over the last few days as well. It sounded like that he'd found himself in quite a dark place, and he wasn't. Like a lot of us men, he wasn't willing to talk about it and share it. And I think it sounds like that when he has, started to share and started to talk, that it might have just, like a lot of people do say, it might have just freed him up a little bit, and he's starting to feel better about himself again. And I just hope that we see him back to his best. And through in the World Cup, I'd love to see Virat come out here and be one of the leading players of the tournament, but just make sure he doesn't score any runs against Australia when they play.
He also stepped up and said that he'd been faking his intensity through the course of his lean patch. What did you make of that comment, and have you related to that at all?
I don't think I can relate to the intensity. I can, when things aren't going well and you're not scoring the runs you're used to scoring, and the game all of a sudden seems really hard. And I sort of faced that the last couple of years of my career, where my career tapered off quite quickly in the last couple of years, and it was almost that the harder I worked, the worse I got at the end, to be honest. I was so almost focused and conscious on being perfect and doing everything exactly right, thinking I had to do that to get the best out of myself, but all I was doing was putting way too much pressure on myself and not letting myself play the game the way that I'd always played it. And I reckon there might have been a bit of that sort of creeping in with Virat as well. And it's just I think it's just a human nature. When things aren't going the way you want, you can push harder and try harder, and sometimes the harder you try, the harder it gets. And so for him to have a bit of a break and freshen up, and the one thing I will say about that as well is, as international cricketers, and probably more so with the modern Indian players, with the amount of cricket that they're actually playing internationally and with the IPL, you can quite often bluff yourself that you are feeling good and that you are fresh and you have got plenty of energy, because when you're tired, you have to tell yourself that, because you've got to get up and play again the next day. And it's not until you stop and just have a few days off or have a week away when you actually realise how tired physically and mentally you are. So, for someone like Virat, it was going to do him no good having a week off. The fact that he's taken that month off to get away, sort of regather his thoughts, get himself back, well, we think somewhere in the right place mentally, there's lots of good signs there.